Watch Community and You on Wyln News. Community and You focuses on local people, places, and events happening in our area. Brought to you by Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton, your partner.
You're watching Wyln TV. We're your local network.
Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Julia Wiegand. Hazleton Mayor Jeff Cassatt confirmed that positive cases in the city are in the double digits. Though the specific number hasn't been released, Cassatt learned about them through discussions with the local medical community. The identity of the individuals or where they live hasn't been released. Cassatt urges residents to stay home and only travel for life-sustaining purposes. People who have tested positive are said to be in quarantine. Governor Tom Wolf announced today that all Pennsylvania schools will remain closed until further notice. The Pennsylvania Department of Education will be providing schools with updated resources within the next few days. Now, as of today, Luzerne County Public Schools started providing online education. 2 more counties in our area were added to Governor Tom Wolf's stay-at-home order. Schuylkill and Carbon counties are now under the order that takes effect tonight at 8 p.m. In all, 26 counties across the state are under the order that's expected to continue until April 30th. Residents may only leave their residence to perform life-sustaining travels like going to the grocery store and pharmacy or taking care of an elderly, dependent, or disabled person. And adding to those numbers, coronavirus cases have risen in Luzerne County. According to the Pennsylvania Department of Health, 94 cases were reported in Luzerne County. Statewide, there's over 4,000 cases in 58 counties. The DOH said all the individuals who have tested positive for the virus are either in isolation or being treated at a hospital. 41% of cases are between the ages of 25 and 49. Nearly 27% are aged 50 to 64, and 19% are 65 and older. Secretary of Health Dr. Rachel Levine said, "We've seen case counts continue to increase, and the best way to prevent the virus from spreading is to just stay home." So far, there have been 38 virus-related deaths reported across Pennsylvania. Luzerne County Manager David Pedri announced Saturday that the county formed a COVID-19 crisis management team in response to the pandemic. The team consists of first responders, county officials, and other members of the community. It consists of 10 focus areas, including health, government, public outreach, education, and emergency management. Pedri urges residents to reach out to the crisis management team if they'd like to help out in any capacity. Questions and suggestions can be emailed to cmt@luzernecounty.org. Police identified the victim involved in a Friday afternoon shooting at Rocco's Used Tires on Hazel Street in Wilkes-Barre. Authorities say 29-year-old Deshear Bowens was shot around 2:30 while waiting for work to be done on his vehicle. The shooting suspect is described as a black male standing around 5 feet 10 inches, last seen wearing a black hooded sweatshirt and a medical mask. Police say the suspect and Bowens got into a confrontation where Bowens was shot. The suspect then fled the scene on foot. Bowens was taken to an area hospital for treatment, though there's no word on his condition at this time. Anyone with information about the incidents being asked to call 570-208-4200. The Pennsylvania Department of Corrections reported its first case of COVID-19. An inmate at SCI Phoenix in Montgomery County with underlying health conditions tested positive for the virus. The inmate's at the prison's infirmary and isolated from other inmates. DOC Secretary John Wetzel said increased cleaning throughout the prison continues to take place. Staff and prisoners were provided personal protective equipment, while housing unit inmates are now under quarantine. Also, a statewide inmate quarantine was implemented in response to the pandemic. County prisons are not operated by Pennsylvania DOC and are not impacted by the quarantine. Governor Tom Wolf requested a major disaster declaration for additional COVID-19 support. Today, Wolf requested the declaration from the President through FEMA to provide additional support for local, state, and county governments. Pennsylvania already received an emergency declaration under the President's nationwide emergency proclamation. If approved, the governor's recent request will provide disaster unemployment assistance, crisis counseling, community disaster loans, and the Disaster Supplemental Nutrition Program. The governor said the outbreak taxed our Commonwealth and that he's calling on the federal government to make assistance available to Pennsylvanians struggling through the outbreak. A priest in the Diocese of Scranton resigned after being accused of sexual assault. The diocese received the assault allegation that involves Father James Walsh, pastor of St. Maria Goretti Parish in Laughlin. Upon investigation, the diocese determined the allegations to be credible and immediately notified the Lackawanna County District Attorney's Office. The incident allegedly took place in 1979 while Walsh was serving as assistant pastor at the Church of St. Gregory in Clark's Green. Bishop Joseph Bambera informed Father Walsh of his intention to remove him as pastor. Walsh then submitted his resignation as pastor of St. Maria Goretti Parish. The hardworking staff at Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton received a sign of appreciation today in the form of pizza. WYLN's Phil Kaufman has the story.
Last Friday, we met with Brian Early from Early Poli Agency discussing their efforts to support healthcare workers and all those providing for us during the pandemic. Today, we see those efforts come to fruition at Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton as the staff is gifted pizza in appreciation for their extremely hard work as they combat the virus.
We're supplying food for all of the employees here at Hazleton General Hospital. It was one of the things that my wife and I had talked about when the coronavirus first started is what can we do? And the first thing that prompted it was we knew a lot of our local restaurants were going to be hurting during this time because they're forced to close. You know, their takeout business, most of them that I've talked to, their business is down 70 to 80%. So this was a way to give them some business and also to show our appreciation for the real heroes today, which is our healthcare providers and fire, EMS, and all those that have to work during these difficult times.
The efforts to bring this sign of appreciation together came from the generosity of multiple businesses located throughout the greater Hazleton area.
My business, the Early Poli Agency, John Diana Insurance Agency, Fegley Vaults, Klesch Plumbing and Heating, Earl Berger was here. Earl's always been community-minded, wanted to come out and help. And all of our pizza shops. I know we asked them to make a lot of pizzas, but they all pulled together and got everything done for us.
We here at WYLN News would also like to thank all those in the area who are on the front lines of combating the virus, as well as those in the community who have given their support to those hard workers.
The response from the community has been great. I hope one of the things that comes out of this, out of the coronavirus, is that people actually sit back and think about what's truly important. People are being forced to stay at home. It's putting families together, doing game nights, game times, ordering takeout food, and to realize who the real heroes are in today's world. Right now, there's no sports going on, but yet we still have this building right here is filled with people that have committed their life to saving lives and potentially risking their own life by being here.
Reporting from Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton, this is Philip Kaufman with WYLN News.
Thanks, Phil. And Gold's SureSave Supermarket in Cunningham's also donating donuts to the second and third shift employees this evening at the hospital. Well, coming up on WYLN News, how Pennsylvania is expanding its healthcare system, plus more on the stimulus bill. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
My name is Alexander Vanoho. I'm 12 years old, and this is your WYLN forecast for the week.
CARES is a local and family-owned agency dedicated to providing exceptional services for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities throughout Pennsylvania. CARES specializes in day and residential services, respite, home and community, behavior supports, and chaperone vacations. At CARES, the participants are the VIPs. CARES, empowering individuals to maximize their opportunities and potential in their community.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
Wyln presents Community Update on Coronavirus. Monday through Friday live at 3 p.m. with rebroadcasts at 7 p.m. and 10 a.m. the following morning. Brought to you by the Lehigh Valley Health Network, PBS 39, Adams Outdoor, and Wyln. We're your local network.
Pennsylvania is looking to reinforce their ranks on its frontline healthcare workers by increasing the number of both its workers and supplies. The states recently streamlined the process for retired doctors, nurses, medical students, pharmacists, and other healthcare workers, allowed out-of-state practitioners to practice in Pennsylvania, expanded telemedicine, and launched a portal to purchase supplies.
And because of our absolutely fantastic teams here at the Department of Health and the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency, they are really working around the clock to make sure that facilities have what they need, that physicians are able to do the consultations that they need of sick patients, that our state lab is prepared for testing, and our staff has been on the front lines even before the first case was detected.
The Department of State announced a series of temporary licensing waivers for healthcare professionals and others during this disaster declaration.
We're busy building an army of medical professionals to care for everyone who becomes ill during this crisis, and that includes more people to handle the surge of COVID-19 patients, as well as more medical professionals to handle regular medical issues like heart attacks and broken bones. To do this quickly and efficiently, we're temporarily lifting certain regulations.
The waivers reduce administrative barriers to support the healthcare system while carrying out their healthcare work with unnecessary burdens.
We're lifting many licensing regulations across the board to extend deadlines and expedite processing. We don't want our doctors, our nurses, our physicians' assistants, and pharmacists to worry about paperwork for their licenses during this crisis. We want them to focus on healing the sick.
Over the past 3 weeks, there were over 119 applications to reactivate medical licenses.
Every case we prevent of COVID-19 by staying home is one less point of stress on our healthcare system, and it's one less opportunity to share COVID-19 with more people, further reducing that burden. So if you infect 3 people, and those people infect 3 more, that's 9 patients. You go 5 links down this chain, and there are 243 people infected. So be the missing link. Remove yourself from this chain and save lives. By working together to destroy these chains of infection, we can get through this crisis with a lower loss of life and a smaller impact on our economy. So as Secretary Levine said, please stay home, stay calm, and stay safe.
You can find all the latest COVID-19 information by visiting health.pa.gov. Luzerne County Council will meet again virtually tomorrow to mainly satisfy time requirements stipulated in the county's Home Rule Charter. The charter requires council meet twice per month and requires the county controller to present an annual report in the first quarter of the year. Council meetings will be done remotely until further notice to comply with the state and federal guidelines about social distancing during the outbreak. Tuesday's meeting starts at 1 p.m. and will also be broadcast on Service Electric Cable TV. Members of the public can submit comments via email or through Microsoft Teams. Details on tomorrow afternoon's meeting will be posted on the county website. Visitation guidelines were updated for LVHN's family birth and newborn centers due to increasing concerns about exposure, as well as those relocating from virus hotspots. No visitation will be permitted in the triage area unless delivery appears imminent, and only one support person will be allowed for delivery. Visitation on perinatal units is not permitted except under unusual approved circumstances, while visitation is still permitted on labor and delivery and mother-baby units, with a few guidelines in place, like passing a health screen. A restriction on patients from virus hotspots is in place until further notice, and visitors will bring their own fresh mask to be worn at all times. One consistent person shall remain through the entire stay. If they leave, they can't return. Details on the latest guidelines can be found at lvhn.org/COVID-19. President Donald Trump signed the stimulus bill Friday, authorizing direct payments to most taxpayers. Those eligible include all U.S. residents not dependent of another taxpayer, have a Social Security number, and an adjusted income less than $99,001 for single filers, $146,501 for head of household filers with one child, and $198,001 for joint filers with no children. Those will receive a check for $1,200 for single filers with incomes under $75,000 and $2,400 for joint filers with incomes under $150,000. There will be a $500 payment for each dependent child under 18 as well. Government officials say that checks could come as early as April 6th. For more information, visit finance.senate.gov. Coming up on Mifflinville's News Choice, we talk beekeeping in Community and You. Plus, Can Do wants to help. So stay with us.
It's okay that everybody ignores me when I drive. It's fine, because I get a safe driving bonus check every 6 months I'm accident-free. Because I don't use my cell phone when I'm driving, even though my family does and leaves me all alone. Here's something else. I don't share it with Mom. Right, Mom? I have a brand new putter you don't even know about. It's awesome.
Safe driving bonus checks only from Allstate. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Visit your local Allstate agent, the McNeilis Agency in Hazleton at 1092 North Church Street, or in Hometown Hometown Village Square.
At Grand Central, our family has been supplying your family with quality brand name furniture, mattresses, and appliances for over 3 generations. Whether you choose from our excellent selection of Lazy Boy, Catnapper, or England furniture, or from our fantastic selection of Sealy and Stearns & Foster mattresses, we guarantee total comfort in every room of your home.
With expert advice, everyday low prices, plus interest-free financing for up to 60 months.
From our family to your family.
Grand Central in Hazleton. Everything to make your house a home.
Have your event with Whitetail, graduation, birthday, bachelor, reunion parties? They have the most tranquil backyard experience with beautiful mountains in the background. If your company or business wants a different alternative to a golf outing, they have outings that can accommodate you. You can have the entire facility to yourself. They will work with you to set up your day of events. Sporting clay competitions, trap and wobble trap games, skeet. After a day of shooting, you'll return to a meal designed for you. Call Mike at 570-535-6123 for available group options.
Welcome to Community and You, and today it's all about the bees. Yes, Harold Kiner is here, and Harold, it's the season, it's the summer. Why are people so afraid of bees, and in particular, your favorites, the honeybees?
Well, people, they just think they worry about stinging, and that's one of their biggest things is they're worried about being stung. Honeybees are very docile in a sense. They're not aggressive bees. They will sting to defend their hive, and or if you're actually causing a problem for one bee in itself, she'll sting you. I mean, I get stung in the hand sometimes working. I get them stuck between the hive tool. They'll crawl in there, and you'll feel a vibration first, but then she'll sting you if you don't let her go.
And is it the stinger that makes people, because a lot of times we'll hear people go and have an allergic reaction to the bees?
It's the venom that actually causes the reaction. So that you know if it was a honeybee or a yellow jacket or a wasp stinging you, if you look at where you got stung, the honeybee leaves its stinger in you because it has a barbed stinger. And they're, for lack of a better word, they actually die when they do sting because they pull, when that stinger pulls out, it pulls the venom sac out. So if you get stung by a honeybee and you see this little thing in your skin, use your fingernail or something like a credit card and scrape across it, and it will pull it out. Don't squeeze it to pull it, because if you do, you're actually going to pump that venom into your body.
And that's what you don't want to do.
Right.
How important are honeybees? Because now there seems to be a push of people saying we have to save them. Pollination is important, but don't other things do that?
Yes, there are many bees that do pollination, but the honeybee, when they go to a crop, I mean, they do the job on that crop. Say, an apple orchard. I mean, they will basically do all the apple blossoms that are in those trees.
Now, you are a beekeeper, and at the apiary you have bees. You also have honey. How long does it take in order to make, let's just say, a quart?
A quart of honey? It takes approximately 1,152 bees, and they fly, well, about 1 million miles, and they visit a couple hundred thousand flowers to make 1 quart of honey.
Wow.
One bee in her lifetime makes 1/12 of a teaspoon. But when you've got 40 to 50,000 workers, you can make that.
Tell us about the queen, because do you ever see the queen?
Oh, yes, you can see her, but I mean, when you're checking a hive, you don't always have to go and see the queen. As long as you can see eggs, you know that the queen is there. She was at least there within the last 3 days, because the eggs hatch after 3 days.
So if you haven't had a head count at your apiary anytime soon, give me a guesstimate. About how many honeybees would you say live at your place?
Oh, in the summertime, there's probably 1 million bees there.
1 million bees. Now, the other thing that we hear about are these swarms, and we see the pictures, and they show up, and there's people that are covered, and you know, how does that happen?
Well, the people that are covered, that's just kind of a
publicity stunt.
Right, a grandstand. How they do that is they actually cage a queen from the hive, and they'll put the queen on a necklace or something, and the bees go to that queen. The queen, because she gives off pheromones, and the bees are attracted to that pheromone, and they want to go to the queen. It's just like in a swarm. The queen is going to be in that swarm, and the bees kind of control the swarm, but they also need to smell her.
Just in case we have any viewers who are watching out there and they say, I think I'd like to get involved with bees, how can we find out more about that?
Well, you can find us on Facebook under Kiner's Apiary or Luzerne County Beekeepers Association, and contact me. There's phone number there, email there, and you're welcome to come to our bee meetings, and but I'll answer questions. But if you think you want to get into beekeeping, you need to read some books, do some studying before you do it. You don't just put bees in a box and hope that they survive.
And then have to call Harold and explain what happened. Harold, thank you so much. I'm fascinated. We're going to have you back.
Well, we can always have you there, put you in a suit, and we can open up a hive.
And we hope to see you again soon on Community and You.
Thank you.
You've seen university advertising. A student like me pitching you the same old ideas. But I'm not gonna do that.
Instead, I'm gonna tell you what you can do with a Penn State degree. You can help anyone. Go anywhere. Create! And with 20 campuses to choose from, you'll always feel at home.
Look, Penn State is amazing, but your best years are just beginning. Come find out for yourself.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call S.J. Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
Tune in every Sunday night on WYLN from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. for hard-hitting, high-flying, non-stop action as only Pennsylvania Premier Wrestling High Voltage can bring you. That's Pennsylvania Premier Wrestling every Sunday night on WYLN. I'll see you in the ring.
PennDOT extended expiration dates for Pennsylvanians in response to statewide mitigation efforts. Driver licenses, photo ID cards, and learner's permits scheduled to expire from March 16th through April 30th are now extended through May 31st. The same goes for vehicle registrations, safety inspections, and emissions inspections, as well as persons with disabilities parking placards. Now, as a reminder, customers may complete various transactions and access multiple resources at dmv.pa.gov with no additional fees. Can-Do wants to remind businesses and industries throughout Greater Hazleton that their staff is on hand to assist those needing guidance during these tough times. Can-Do wants to offer their assistance to those needing to access various funding programs available to help continue operations or connect to resources while their doors are temporarily closed. The Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program is for small businesses, less than 500 employees, impacted financially by COVID-19. There's also the COVID-19 Working Capital Access Program, which provides critical working capital financing to small, for-profit PA businesses employing 100 or fewer impacted by the outbreak. For more information on Can-Do's business financing programs, visit hazeltoncando.com. That's the news. Remember, you can get news updates on our WYLN News Facebook page. If you'd like to see an event promoted on our newscast, visit WYLNTV.com to submit a request form. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next here on WYLN TV.
Prima wasn't a child prodigy or valedictorian. But thanks to Lehigh Valley Cancer Institute's team of experts and their membership